Alright, so way late last night, about 9:30, this thing pulls up, running underneath its own power. Not anymore because the battery's stone did. But they dropped this thing off. One of my customers said that I could just, for the price that he gave it, $200, I could just have it. He was done with it. He said that he had a new transmission put in it and it still is acting funny.
It's so reliable you could practically weld the hood shut.
I have some ideas on that of my own, but we'll discuss that later. So for now, here is the next project. And when I say project, I use that term very loosely. This is going to be a cobbling together of yet another car. So this vehicle has not run since 2017. Yep. It is a 2000 or 2001 Chevrolet Prizm. See that? And it's kind of rough for the wear. There's the door panel, kind of dirty. The previous owner said he changed the Bosch spark plugs himself. Not that that's gonna help, for what he was explaining to me what was wrong. Doesn't sound anything like spark plugs, but okay. Fuse box is gone. I haven't even checked this. This is the first time I'm checking it out. I saw it last night in the pitch dark, so not much I could have seen really. So I'm experiencing along with you. Again, battery's dead. The windshield has so many cracks that it looks like the Grand Canyon. This thing is just the sun visor's missing. My assumption is that we're like, the sun's in my eyes. Yeah. Guarantee. Oh, yeah, I knew about that, but I didn't know that was so. Wow. There's no electricity. Don't worry, guys. But maybe we'll get a new radio for that. That's horrible. Bunch of screws and shits and shit. What's this? Huh? It has knobs. Oh no, it's got a oh no, look, that's the metal. That's the actual sliding mechanism. He busted it off. That's what he meant. Bunch of screws, bunch of licorice. Okay, maybe not licorice, but I don't know what that is. Don't care really. Another razor blade, man. All the cars I get always come with razor blades. And they're always brand new razor blades. I don't understand why. Sib. What's this? The ounce back card. What? Oh, orange leaf. That sounded very druggy for a second. More razor blades and more screws. What's this? It's old school R12 to R134A fittings. I could use these. You can always use these as long as they work. Oh, there's something you kind of don't want to see. A cut plug or a wire. Never leave an unplugged plug unplugged, as Billy always says. So we'll have to search for that. Trash, confetti, anything in there? No. Roll up windows, my favorite. The back seat. Oh, somebody had an accident. That's, ugh. The headliner is kind of mushy because this is the GM version. If this was the Toyota version, this wouldn't happen. But since this is the GM version, the Numi version, all kinds of good stuff happens. Oh, hey, here's the storage only tray full of broken things. That's the feet. Yeah, that's that. So that's cool. Let's check the trunk, I guess. By the way, it has 156,000 miles, but the battery's dead, so not much I can do there. Oh, that works. That's always a treasure. Take a look at the back seats real quick. Filthy and dirty, and literally everything is just broken. Even the freaking taillight, I think. And look at that. Ooh. Prizm, not even an LSI, just a Prizm. Sand Springs, Oklahoma. Would explain the condition. Hey, they even included the wiring. Is it the original radio? Yep. The cheap, shitty, Geo-inspired blanking plate radio that actually seems to be fine. So let's see what we can do there. This would explain why last night the taillights did not work. Oh yeah, what's this? Engine mounts. Oh, I see an engine mount. Oh, hey, blind. It's one of those cheap aftermarket ones, so that's not, we're not going to be using that. That's no fly. Oh, a king size Sharpie. Those are good for various things. Yep, he told me he took out the speakers and left the audio wires just dangling here ever so carelessly. But for 200 bucks, I mean, you know, I have, again, limited complaints. Oop. Got some Bondo. Yummy. The tires look really good, actually, though. They are Ling Long. I could make a joke about that, but I'm not going to. They're basically new, so that's cool. There's no rust on the vehicle, besides like surface rust. Looks like this car got broken into quite often. And linger longer, as they say. There's always good stuff under the seats. Let's go under there. What do you guys see? Nothing? What a shame. Any change between the seats I can recoup my losses with? Nope. Dang, I got gypped. Nah, I'm just kidding. For 200 bucks, I mean, I think the engine runs fine. I heard it run. So even if it's 200 bucks and I can just pluck the engine out and get 150, 200 for that, and then just scrap it and still make double my money, so I am not upset about that in any way. Hey, look at that. Oof. That's why they drive a Chevy Prizm, because they went to community college. No offense, but, you know, might as well just not go to college at that point. Speaking from experience here. So there's the very dirty, not run in quite a few years engine. Let me put the prop rod up. And my voice is gravelly today. And you're listening to nothing but the best. Man, sometimes I wake up like that. My voice is just deep. And sometimes it's squeaky. I don't get that. I gotta stop smoking. Anyway, there's the battery. I actually checked this out, and it's manufacturing date of 11/15, which means this is a 5-year battery, 5-year warranty, or with a 2-year prorate or something like that. So I might be able to take this back to Walmart and get a good deal on a new battery, because this one is just dead. It is dead as disco. The engine does run. I heard it. The previous owner said that the transmission is having an issue, even though he just spent $2,000 to rebuild it, and I have the receipt for that. So I don't think that's the issue. I think we're having either there's a clogged catalytic converter not allowing it to accelerate past a certain speed. That's most likely the culprit, because I hear the pinging when you accelerate. Or perhaps maybe there's a knock sensor or some sort of sensor triggering a limp home mode. That's my 2 guesses. But we're not going to guess anything until we get a battery, because this car is just dead. The battery is out. Off to Wally World. Always a bundle of fun using these outdated pieces of crap. Alright, new battery accomplished. This is some BS here, look at this. A battery, Texas battery fee. They charge you $3 to fucking buy a battery. See that shit? Came out to 62 bucks total. It's not that bad for a battery, but it sucks when the price of the car is just barely twice that. So, this costs half the price of the car. At least we got it. No thanks to Walmart. So as is pretty typical with any visit to Wally World, they sold me the wrong battery. I could have sworn it was the right one. I think it was a 26R. I think this might be a 26. You know, it's close. It should be pretty close for this vehicle, but instead they're backwards, because this is the positive on this vehicle and this is the negative, right? So these don't stretch. Notice? So if I switch it around, then the problem is the same. Now the wires are crossed. So luckily over the years I've just been sort of hoarding a bunch of stuff, and this would work for the extension of the negative battery terminal, and this will work for the extension of the positive. I'm going to cover it in a red boot that I have. That way you can verify that it's positive. Or I might even just leave this one on and extend it. But the idea is I'm not going back to Walmart, so, you know, I had this stuff lying around anyway, so zero cost to me. Well, this turned into a whole reworking of the front electrical system. So this is the new negative I'll be splicing in, and this will be the new positive. And there that goes, eh? Gone forever. That's the new positive, which I will relabel properly with this red boot. See there? Like that. That way you know it's positive, I will properly label it. But the rain has come for us, so it looks like we are postponed. So, until next time. So unfortunately, due to the rain, we can't really do any more work to the electrical system because, you know, water and electrical don't mix. So we're going to do some work to this radio I found in the trunk. You can see that it suffers from the very common toasted radio knob, which is actually a lot easier to fix than you would believe. And we also have to do some rewiring on this. This is the original harness, and luckily for me, they just cut it and threw it in the trunk, and they left the wires, so I can just mash it back together. But I've got to pry on all these tabs up here and get this thing apart so I can adjust this knob back to normal. So you remove the little knobs like that. They just pop right off. Sometimes the little clip stays stuck in there like that. Sometimes it comes free, and sometimes you gotta press it in there and take it out yourself. But I've already unclipped the fascia. See what I mean? So, I'm gonna take a peek inside there. See all the good stuff. All the electronics. This is just a faceplate. There you go. See, that one fell on its own. This is basically just a faceplate for the radio. So once I get this off without damaging it, I'll show you the rest of the steps. So now that we've pulled the fascia away a little bit, fascia, however you want to pronounce that, you can see this is the volume control knob. And you see how it's all wobbly? Come on, iPhone. Don't give me that attitude now. There you go. See that? This nut in here needs to be adjusted. So I have to take my finger in there and adjust it, and adjust it, and adjust it. And keep doing that. You hold this, and then you get a wrench, and you adjust that. And already this is getting less wobbly. So that's all you have to do to fix those knobs. Even the ones down there, but these ones seem to be fine. So I'll get my little wrench and I'll tighten this up. Alright, I got my 7/16 out, and I tightened this nut right here. I'm not going back in there, but you get the idea. I just tightened each one of them up, and I noticed you can literally see where they cheaped out and they didn't even freaking put a cassette player. And to make things worse, right? They didn't just cheap out like that. They put a CD fascia on this thing, right? And then put a blanking plate. So they cheaped out on top of cheaping out. That is cheaping outception. Dang. But now no more wobbly, see? No more wobbly. So I'm just going to blow some compressed air through this and then put it all back together. Got my On Electronics duster. And I still can't believe they went to the level of... They didn't even intend to put a CD player in here. But they thought, yeah, you remind the consumer that every time they're driving this car that they could have had the CD, but instead they cheaped out. When they themselves had no intention of ever putting one in there. That is too good. There we go. Should be good enough. Alright, it's back together. See, the knobs work fine now. And this one doesn't wobble anymore. See? A nice solid click, no more wobble. That's all you gotta do to fix one of these radios. It's super simple. Now I just gotta start stripping the wiring back on this and put some little crimp connectors on there and get ready to go to the car and do the same. Open the blinds so we can get a little bit more light in here, but that's it. I sprayed the front with Armor All and gave it a clean up. Obviously it came out really nice. Like, everything looks nice and clean. Small little crack there. I'm imagining somebody smacked it once when they got mad. And I've done that before, so I know how that feels. But it looks beautiful. So now I gotta go to the car and do the wiring. We are getting close now. Just gotta attach this end to this end and we'll be all good. Not the best, but it's gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to get my electrical tape and I'll wrap it up now. Still raining, but I got all this out of the way. Yes, my foot is on the brake at the moment. And also the e-brake is engaged and there's bricks behind the wheels, so no danger. So I've got everything out. I'm trying to figure out how these brackets go to mount this stereo in. And there's also some cup holders down there that are different from one another, so I gotta figure all that out too. But hopefully soon we'll have a complete center stack. I'm probably gonna have to take this apart again just to fix this. So we'll see if while we're in here I can do something about this. So I believe that's how these brackets go. They just go in these little loops here, these little pegs. And then you screw the screws down like this. And that's it. See? And you got the cup holders in there, these brackets. Cup holders still work. And then you just assemble the electronics in the rear, stick it back in, and put the fascia on. I think these are actually called bezels. Well, no chance of getting to the battery today to even test this radio, but at least it's back in where it's supposed to be. The knob works. Cup holders are mostly working, I think. That's kind of gross, but that's okay. It's a used car. I got to put the bezel back in, and I'm going to remove this real quick just to see how I can maneuver this, you know, maybe make it work. But this is going pretty good so far. So I was able to remove the 2 Phillips head screws and pull this out and down enough to where I could access this little flapper. And this is what's busted off, unfortunately, so all I did was slide it with my finger. And now I have it on fresh air instead of recirculate. And I'll leave it like that until I can get a replacement. There's that all back together. Cup holders and all. This even still works. Haven't tested the radio yet because I can't, but at least it looks good. So the next thing I gotta focus on is scrubbing off a few of these nasty blemishes. Maybe fixing that. See if I can go ahead and find a passenger visor. I'm not gonna fix the windshield, I don't care about that. That's neither here nor there, basically, for the price. And that's gonna be it. So for now, until the rain clears up, I can't really work on the electrics and get the car to start. So that'll probably be the next video. Thanks for watching.